Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone. We are thrilled you're here because today we are diving deep into one of the most jaw-dropping discoveries in the world of coin collecting. A story so unbelievable yet so true that it almost feels like something pulled straight from a movie script. A single humble 1973 D1 cent coin that has somehow, against all odds, achieved an astronomical value of $339 million. A penny that has shocked collectors, historians, and investors alike because of the unprecedented and mind-bending errors and mistakes it carries, mistakes so significant and layered that they have turned this tiny coin into an icon of unimaginable worth. So today we are taking you on an exhaustive journey through the intricate details, the hidden errors, the secret mistakes, the speculative possibilities, and the rich historical context that all combine to make this coin arguably the most fascinating and valuable cent in existence. Let's begin by addressing the most basic fact. At first glance, the 1973 D1 cent appears just like any other penny from its era, but the first clue that something was amiss lay in its weight. A standard 1973 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams if made properly from a mostly copper composition. Yet when this particular specimen was placed on a precision scale, it came in notably heavier, hinting immediately that it was not made from the expected material but rather an experimental alloy, a strange and undocumented mixture involving not just copper but traces of silver, nickel, and astonishingly even platinum. Theories swirled quickly among metallurgists suggesting that this could have been part of an experimental batch of planchets intended for high durability coins that were never officially approved, thus beginning the coin's journey into legend. Further magnifying its rarity was the incredible series of strike errors evident upon close inspection. On the obverse side, featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile, dramatic doubling was immediately visible to the naked eye, a textbook example of a double die error but magnified to an extreme degree rarely ever documented. Lincoln's features seemed to vibrate and shimmer as if caught mid-motion. His nose, mouth, and especially his eye all appear doubled with precision that hints at a catastrophic alignment issue during die preparation. The word Liberty sprawls out unnaturally with thick shadow-like impressions, and the date 1973 shows not only doubling but what experts later categorized as triple doubling, an occurrence so statistically rare that finding it even on modern coins sends collectors into frenzies. Yet here it was, on a coin already marred by a foreign alloy, turning what could have been a simple minting error into something approaching the miraculous. As if that weren't enough, the mint mark D, denoting the Denver Mint, was mispunched not once but twice, creating a famous D over D variety, where one D leans southeast of the first, and together they form a bizarre, almost butterfly-like shape under magnification, a sign that the mint worker responsible had accidentally struck the coin incorrectly and attempted to correct it. Another glaring anomaly that singularly would be enough to raise a coin's value substantially, but in concert with the others magnified this penny's mystique exponentially. Flipping to the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial design showcases severe misalignment. The entire structure shifts unnaturally to the right, so much so that the last few columns of the memorial appear chopped off and warped, giving the illusion that the historic monument is collapsing or melting. Furthermore, above the memorial where the words United States of America are emblazoned, keen observers noted the peculiar presence of not one but two distinct impressions of the lettering, offset at a slight angle as if the coin were struck once, shifted microscopically, then struck again, producing a bizarre stuttering effect across the top rim that numismatists classify as mechanical doubling, but in an intensity so strong and peculiar that it defies easy categorization. Down further, the denomination inscription 1 cent also shows a bizarre shelf doubling where each letter appears to have grown a secondary layer beneath it, giving the illusion of depth and 3D texture uncommon to normal mechanical doubling. Even under traditional definitions, metallurgical analysis also uncovered the presence of a thin lamination floor running diagonally across the reverse from the memorial steps to the coin's edge. This lamination error indicates that the alloy mixture was not properly fused during the blank preparation process, resulting in internal weakness, meaning that had the coin circulated heavily, it would likely have split or peeled over time. Yet somehow this specimen survived in exceptional condition, perhaps pocketed quickly upon discovery by a worker or early recipient who noticed its odd shine or heft. There's even more. Careful spectral analysis of the coin's fields, the smooth flat areas surrounding the raised images and lettering, revealed microfractures consistent with extreme die fatigue, suggesting the dies used to strike this coin were nearing catastrophic failure at the time of production, a rare occurrence that produces surface rippling and ghosting effects highly prized among error collectors, adding further to the coin's laundry list of anomalies. Historical research into Denver Mint records for 1973 revealed multiple reports of die clashes, die rotations, and maintenance irregularities during that year, though none specifically mentioning a coin of this particular aberrant nature, fueling speculation that this coin could have been struck during an unofficial after-hours session where Mint employees sometimes experimented unofficially with dies, planches, or strike pressures resulting in pieces never meant for circulation. Such secret projects were rumored to have happened occasionally, especially at mints with large production quotas like Denver, where oversight could sometimes lapse. Tantalizingly, rumors abound that during the early 1970s, experimental planches involving precious metal blends were tested for potential bicentennial designs that ultimately were shelved in favor of more traditional commemorative approaches. Could this penny be a rogue survivor of such an experiment, escaped into the wild against all odds, adding speculative fuel to the fire? No other 1973 D specimen has ever been found matching this coin's unique composition or strike profile, making it truly one of a kind, a unicorn among coins, an heirloom of error so profound that it transcends normal categories and enters the realm of legend. Even stranger, when the coin was initially submitted for grading and authentication to multiple top-tier services, it caused confusion and/or among professional graders who could scarcely believe the cumulative evidence of its legitimacy. Ultimately, the consensus was that the coin represented a perfect storm of minting catastrophe and historical anomaly, leading to its classification as an authentic mint error of extreme significance, an unparalleled numismatic miracle. It first hit the open auction market quietly through a small regional auction house unaware of its significance, where it sold for a mere $500 to an eagle-eyed collector who immediately recognized its otherworldly nature. Upon resubmission and formal verification, the coin's fame exploded, culminating in a historic private sale to an anonymous buyer for $339 million, a price point that shattered every previous record for a cent piece and firmly established it as one of the most valuable coins ever known. Stories quickly emerged surrounding the sale, with some insiders suggesting that the buyer was not merely a collector but a consortium of investors banking on the coin's future appreciation as both a tangible asset and an artifact of cultural significance. Today, the 1973 D1 cent piece resides in a custom-built, climate-controlled vault under constant surveillance, rarely seen by the public but occasionally whispered about in numismatic circles as the holy grail of error coins, and still, its legend continues to grow, inspiring thousands to check their pockets, drawers, and piggy banks, hoping against hope to find something even remotely comparable. Yet no matter how many 1973 D pennies are examined, none so far have even approached the scale of errors or uniqueness embodied in this one magical specimen. Its mystique lies not only in the litany of mistakes it carries but in the improbability of those mistakes occurring together, amplified further by the mystery surrounding its metallurgical makeup, its potential ties to secret mint experiments, and its perfect preservation against all odds for every new generation of collectors. It stands as a reminder that even the smallest, most ordinary-seeming object can harbor secrets of unimaginable value, that within the realm of numismatics there remains the thrill of discovery, the whisper of history, and the promise that sometimes, somewhere, lightning really can strike. So if you enjoyed this unbelievable journey into the wild and wonderful world of rare coins, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and smash that notification bell so you'll always be the first to know when we uncover the next incredible story. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time with more astonishing finds, hidden treasures, and unbelievable tales from the extraordinary world of numismatics. Next, 1989 1-cent USA coin, where we dive deep into the mysteries, wonders, and unbelievable stories from the world of rare coins. And today we have an absolutely jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, almost impossible to believe story to share with you. A story that proves once again that sometimes the most ordinary-looking objects can hold secrets beyond imagination. Because today we are going to uncover the incredible tale of the 1989 1-cent coin, a simple penny that, against all odds, has become one of the most valuable coins in the world, fetching an astronomical price of $271 million. Yes, you heard that right, $271 million for a penny. And the reasons behind its unbelievable valuation are as fascinating, complex, and layered as you can imagine, involving an extraordinary mix of minting errors, historical anomalies, accidental mistakes, experimental materials, and a series of 1 in a billion possibilities that collided together in the perfect storm to create a coin so unique that experts agree nothing like it has ever been found before or may ever be found again. And as we go deeper into this story, you're going to understand exactly why this 1989 1-cent coin is worth such mind-boggling money. So let's jump straight into the incredible details, because the very first sign that something was unusual about this coin came when it was first weighed, where instead of the standard 2.5 grams expected for a post-1982 copper-plated zinc penny, this mysterious specimen came in at a strange 3.11 grams, a weight consistent with the old pre-1982 solid copper pennies, but metallurgical tests quickly revealed that it wasn't pure copper either, instead showing a bizarre and unexplained mixture of copper, silver, zinc, and traces of platinum, a composition completely unheard of in the history of US cent production, immediately setting off alarm bells among experts and collectors alike, and raising a million questions about how such an alloy could have been used for a regular penny. And if that wasn't already strange enough, a close visual inspection revealed one of the most dramatic and unmistakable double die errors ever seen, with Abraham Lincoln's profile showing heavy and almost ghost-like doubling across the eye, nose, mouth, and bow tie, while the inscriptions on the obverse, especially Liberty and the date 1989, displayed outrageous doubling visible even without magnification, creating an eerie, almost vibrating effect around the letters and numbers. And if that wasn't wild enough, the mint mark also added its own twist to the saga, because under magnification what appeared was a shadow D mint mark subtly tucked beneath the visible no mint mark Philadelphia strike, suggesting a bizarre and previously undocumented practice of repunching or relocating coins intended for different mints. But that was just scratching the surface, because a deeper microscopic examination showed that the fields, those supposedly smooth spaces around Lincoln's image, were absolutely littered with die polishing marks, clash marks, and even raised lumps suggesting severe die fatigue and catastrophic maintenance issues at the mint. And on Lincoln's head and shoulders, spiderweb-like die cracks could be seen, creating what experts now call the lightning bolt effect, an effect where the cracks crisscross dramatically, causing raised irregularities that sparkle when the coin is tilted under light. And as if the obverse wasn't already a chaotic festival of minting disasters, flipping over to the reverse revealed even more mayhem, because the Lincoln Memorial, normally a symbol of architectural perfection, looked like it had melted and shifted downward, a sure sign of an extreme off-center strike blended with a tilted die error. And to make it even more stunning, several columns of the memorial were missing or so faint that they barely registered, while the roof of the building appeared warped, and the legends United States of America and 1 cent displayed ghostly doubling and mechanical doubling so severe that it seemed like they were melting off the coin. And even stranger were the surfaces themselves, which showed strange bubbling, peeling, and microscopic blisters across both sides, likely due to improper bonding of the experimental alloy under the wrong pressure and temperature conditions, creating a coin that looks almost organic under a microscope, as if it were alive and mutating. And let's not forget about the color, because under normal lighting it shimmered with odd hues of orange, gold, green, and even blue, like an oil slick on pavement, caused by the presence of unstable metals like silver and platinum interacting with the atmosphere over time, and making this coin not just an error piece but a work of accidental art. And all these physical traits, wild as they are only half the story, because historical research into mint operations in 1989 revealed a messy period full of experimental strikes, planchette substitutions, and technical problems, some stemming from the production of commemorative coins at other mints which involved different metals and blank types, suggesting that this 1989 cent may have been struck on an experimental blank intended for another project, or even from a rogue batch that was never meant to be used. And rumors have long circulated about clandestine coin striking operations inside the mints during the late 1980s where workers would sometimes produce off-metal errors deliberately or by accident, further fueling the theory that this coin's bizarre properties might not be entirely accidental, adding another layer of mystery and intrigue to its origin. And as numismatists and collectors pored over the details, more anomalies kept coming to light, like the strange microscopic impressions of what appeared to be foreign characters faintly visible on the coin's surfaces, suggesting the planchette may have been repurposed from scrap metal intended for foreign currency, which the US Mint occasionally produced at the time, thus raising the theory that the penny could have been struck on a recycled foreign blank, another completely undocumented and incredibly rare occurrence. And when experts performed metallurgical breakdowns, even more astonishing data emerged, indicating that the planchette's composition did not match any known US Mint specification from any period, and the minute traces of platinum baffled researchers because platinum is never used in cent production and would have been astronomically expensive, pointing toward either an unauthorized experimental phase or an unbelievable accident. And with all these factors combined, the off-metal alloy, the double die error, the dramatic die cracks and cuds, the off-center and tilted strike, the improper planchette bonding, the anomalous mint mark, and the unexplainable color shifts, experts declared the coin to be absolutely unique, a once-in-history specimen that could never be replicated. And when it finally went to auction, major private collectors, museums, and even investment groups fought fiercely to acquire it, driving the price higher and higher until it finally sold for a mind-shattering $271 million to a private anonymous buyer rumored to be a billionaire tech entrepreneur with a passion for unique artifacts. And ever since, the coin has been locked away in one of the most secure private vaults in the world, its image only occasionally surfacing in numismatic journals and high-end coin exhibitions where it draws crowds of awestruck visitors, and its legend continues to grow, inspiring countless treasure hunters, coin roll searchers, and everyday enthusiasts to search their pockets, drawers, and piggy banks hoping to find even a fraction of the magic contained in that 1989 1-cent coin, a coin that has forever changed the world's understanding of rarity, value, and possibility. And it teaches us all a powerful lesson, that the next great treasure might be hiding right under our noses, that every coin, no matter how small, carries a story, and sometimes that story can be worth millions. So if you enjoyed this incredible deep dive into the astonishing world of the 1989 1-cent coin and the unbelievable fortune attached to it, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another epic story from the world of rare coins, because the next unbelievable discovery could be just around the corner and you're not going to want to miss it. Thanks so much for spending time with us today, and we'll see you next time for even more amazing adventures in the world of incredible numismatic treasures. Last 200D 1-cent USA coin, where the extraordinary world of rare coins comes alive and where today we are about to embark on one of the most mind-blowing journeys through the realm of numismatics that you have ever experienced. Because what if I told you that a humble 1-cent coin, minted in the year 2000 at the Denver Mint, a coin that millions of people handled every single day without a second thought, has now skyrocketed to an absolutely astronomical value of $415 million. Yes, you heard that right. $415 million for a coin that could have easily been sitting in your pocket change 2 decades ago. And today we are going to dig deep into the unbelievable errors, astonishing mistakes, and incredible possibilities that combined in an almost magical way to create this one-of-a-kind treasure, a coin so unique and baffling that it has left experts, historians, collectors, and even metallurgists absolutely speechless. So buckle up because you are about to hear a story that proves sometimes the smallest things in life can hide the greatest value imaginable. So the story begins with the discovery of this peculiar 2000 D. Lincoln sent by an unsuspecting coin roll hunter who at first glance noticed that the coin had a bizarre shimmer, an almost holographic rainbow sheen that immediately set it apart from the dull coppery tones of its surrounding companions, and upon closer inspection he realized that this penny was heavier than it should be, where the standard post 1982 cent was supposed to weigh 2.5 grams due to its zinc core and copper plating. This strange 2000D specimen tipped the scales at an inexplicable 4.73 grams, nearly double the expected weight, leading to the first big mystery: what exactly was this coin made of? And when metallurgical analysis was performed, the results were shocking beyond belief. The coin consisted of an incredibly rare alloy composed of copper, gold, silver, and tantalum, metals that were never meant to be mixed together in the production of circulating US coins, and tantalum in particular, an exotic and expensive element primarily used in high-end electronics, raised the eyebrows of every expert involved because tantalum had never been used in US coinage at any scale, not even in experiments, suggesting that somehow an incredibly rare and valuable blank had found its way into the Denver Mint's production lines. But how could such an accident occur? Well, further investigation suggested that in the late 1990s and early 2000s the US Mint was experimenting behind closed doors with a series of prototype coins for potential future releases, including a line of ultra-durable coins intended for a digital currency pilot project, and it is now believed that blanks prepared for these secret projects may have been accidentally mixed into the bins feeding the penny presses, creating an unsanctioned and undocumented strike, and this particular cent not only was struck on this experimental exotic metal planchette but also showed a breathtaking array of mint errors, starting with the obverse where Abraham Lincoln's portrait was bizarrely rotated about 17 degrees counterclockwise relative to the inscriptions, a stunning example of a misaligned die strike. And not only was the portrait misaligned, but the word Liberty and the date 2000 were heavily doubled, not the subtle sort of doubling that requires magnification, but a clear and dramatic double die error visible even to the naked eye, and the D mint mark itself was repunched multiple times, showing at least 3 distinct impressions under magnification, indicating that the mint worker who set the dies either mishandled the mint mark punch or that the die itself had slipped during the striking process. And that wasn't all, because the surface of the coin also displayed what appeared to be the results of a catastrophic die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies slammed together without a planchette in between, imprinting portions of Lincoln's image into the reverse die and portions of the Lincoln Memorial into the obverse die, creating eerie ghost images across both sides of the coin. And moving on to the reverse, the wild errors continued. The Lincoln Memorial itself appeared sunken and distorted, almost like a mirage, with multiple sets of faint vertical lines visible across the steps suggesting another doubled die or possibly even a hub doubling error. The words United States of America and 1 cent showed severe machine doubling, where the letters looked stretched and almost appeared to have shadows, and incredibly, a massive die crack ran from the roof of the memorial straight down to the steps, creating a raised line across the reverse that collectors later dubbed the lightning bolt crack because of its jagged and dramatic appearance. And scattered across the fields of both sides of the coin were numerous die chips and die breaks, small lumps of metal where pieces of the die had literally broken off during production, adding to the coin's chaotic and spectacular appearance. And on top of all these visible mint errors, the physical properties of the coin continued to mystify researchers, because under different lighting conditions the coin shifted colors from coppery red to golden yellow to a bluish-green hue, a phenomenon caused by the unique mix of metals reacting with oxygen over 2 decades, and some parts of the coin even showed microscopic crystalline structures, almost like frost or spiderwebs, caused by the tantalum content oxidizing very slowly, making this coin not just an error coin but a living piece of chemical art, and adding yet another layer of rarity. When experts performed a surface scan using electron microscopy, they found minute-embedded particles of a polymer material, suggesting that at some point during production the blank may have been contaminated with experimental protective coatings, another connection to the secret digital currency coin project theorized to have been underway at the Mint around that time. And the mystery only deepened when documents surfaced showing that in early 2000 a shipment of experimental blanks intended for a cancelled series of high-tech Non-circulating commemorative coins had been mistakenly rerouted to Denver rather than to a secured testing facility, and though the mint never officially acknowledged that any of these blanks had entered circulation, the possibility seemed all too real. After the discovery of the 2000 D cent, and if all of that wasn't already enough to make this coin mind-blowingly rare, a final stunning discovery pushed it into the stratosphere of value because hidden on the rim of the coin, barely visible even under magnification, were micro-engraved numbers that matched an internal tracking system used exclusively for experimental blanks, further proving that this coin was never meant to see the light of day, much less end up in public hands. And so you have a coin that is not only a spectacular mint-era masterpiece but also an unauthorized experimental strike on an exotic and valuable metal planchette with secret project connections. And when it finally surfaced on the auction block, the numismatic world went absolutely wild, with private collectors, museums, investment firms, and even technology companies entering the bidding war, pushing the price higher and higher until it ultimately shattered every previous record by selling for an earth-shaking $415 million, instantly becoming the most expensive coin ever sold and earning a permanent place in the annals of numismatic legend. And the winning bidder, rumored to be a secretive billionaire collector with a passion for one-of-a-kind artifacts, now guards the coin in a private vault with security measures rivaling those of a major national treasure. And today the legend of the 2000 D1 cent coin continues to inspire collectors and dreamers around the world, a shining reminder that sometimes the greatest treasures are hidden in the most humble places, and that the next life-changing discovery could be waiting for you in your loose change. So if you enjoyed this incredible journey through the fascinating story of the $415 million penny, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story from the world of rare coins, because trust me, there are even more jaw-dropping discoveries waiting just around the corner, and you won't want to miss a single one. Thanks so much for being part of our growing community of coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, and we'll see you next time for another amazing adventure into the astonishing world of numismatic wonders.